Hey guys, welcome back. We have a lot to get to in today's episode. Panthers preseason has started, reactions from that. Avenging Malkin potentially was a Panther, could potentially still be a Panther. Victor Hedman, another Tampa Bay Lightning player, has more comments to say about the Florida Panthers. All that and more on this episode of Florida Panthers Daily. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Jacob Williams, your guys' host. Florida Panther hockey is now back. Over the course of the weekend, we were able to go and watch two preseason games. Not a lot of bright spots in those first two preseason games. First game, we ended up losing 5-0. Second game, we actually were able to get on the board, but also eventually falling 5-3. Again, don't need to really overreact. This is preseason. Our guys aren't playing. I think it does raise some eyebrows and questions in regard to we've given up 10 goals in 2 games. If Bobrovsky can't go or if he's not available or if he gets hurt, who's going to be in net for us? I think that's a little concerning just in regards to giving up those 10 goals in 2 games. But again, it's the first 2 games of the season. We don't really need to jump to conclusions. There's still a lot ways to go. Just exciting to have Panthers hockey back. So we have another game on Wednesday, the 24th, against the Hurricanes, and then also the following week, Monday and Tuesday. Glad to have Panthers hockey back. Super exciting. Again, hopefully we'll continue to play a little bit better. There were some bright spots, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this video, but Florida Panthers hockey is back. Moving on to our next topic here. Avenging Malkin. If you guys don't know who he is, one of the legendary players currently in the NHL, alternate captain for the Pittsburgh Penguins, won 2 Stanley Cups with them, was a Conn Smythe Award winner. James Murphy of RG reports that the Canadians and the Tampa Bay Lightning have checked in his availability, and this was starting in the 2024 offseason. So 2024 offseason and also this offseason, depending on how things went, was checking in on his availability. If he's available for trade, can we acquire him? I think this is really interesting just because he's an older player. The Penguins have not been good. So many people have talked about, okay, I know Crosby and Malkin, they want to be kind of Penguins for life, but it's like, do they want to have an opportunity to win? The Penguins just have not been able to make the playoffs the past couple of years. Kyle Dubas, basically said, GM is that, all of those teams were met with a hard no in regards to acquiring Malkin. Him and Crosby are going to dictate their futures here in Pittsburgh, and neither have indicated that they've wanted to leave Pittsburgh, which is no surprise. Really interesting that he was. And who knows, maybe at the trade deadline, if there's some injuries that we have and, the Penguins are just not good at all. They've been somewhat competitive the past couple of years, but if they are just very bad, who knows if he says, you know what, I want out. I want an opportunity to win like Marchand. And, I see all the things that came his way, all the positive things that came his way, and how he really solidified himself as a Hall of Famer just within this one playoff run. I want to be a part of that as well. And who knows, wouldn't be surprised if he joined the Panthers, wouldn't be surprised if he joined a team like the Lightning. Cap's going up, so would not be surprised whatsoever. Now moving and transitioning to our next topic, which is last episode we talked about Andrei Vasilevskiy had some comments in regards to the Florida Panthers. Not specifically to the Panthers, more of just home playoff struggles, which correlate to the Florida Panthers. Victor Hedman had a specific quote in regards to the 25-26 Florida Panthers. So when asked about us, he said they're not going to win 3 cups in a row, end quote. I think this is really funny. Obviously, you don't want somebody else, especially a rival team, to win the Stanley Cup, especially when 3 consecutive Stanley Cups, especially when that team's in your division. And that basically is saying, well, hey, if they're winning, then we're not going to win. So I can see the optimism there. I really wouldn't say, I think that quote comes off a little too harsh in regard to, I wouldn't say we wouldn't win. I would say, hey, they have a really good team. We have an opportunity and we want to be able to compete with them and be on their level. I think there's a little saltiness within the comment. Again, it doesn't surprise me. Tampa, the Lightning, and him as the captain now have gotten their rear ends handed to them by us specifically, and also by the Maple Leafs in 23 in the first round. They've had 3 consecutive first round exits after 3 consecutive Stanley Cup final appearances. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us. I don't think it is, but there's definitely a hard passing of the torch that happened in 2023 from the Lightning passing that torch to us. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic and that rivalry plays out this year. But again, Hedman's comments really don't come as a surprise as the captain, coming off a little bit harsh, especially him. He's more of a quieter guy, but again, not too big of a surprise. And now transitioning to our last topic of today's episode, which is Mike Bennon scores twice in that game 2 of the preseason. So I'd mentioned that, we won 5-3 in that second game. Bennon scored twice. Really big bright spot for us so far in the first 2 games of the preseason, within injuries kind of early on. Obviously, Kachuk and then also Nosek. This could be a guy who makes the team and makes an impact, starting this season. So it'll be interesting to see how he continues to play the rest of the preseason. But if you're watching preseason, keep your eye on Mike Benning. Again, scored twice, leads the team in goals so far. Again, it's still early, but he's a name to keep track of. Guys, thank you again so much for watching this video. If you guys like the channel, want to support it, the best way to do that is click that subscribe button, click that like button. We appreciate it here at Florida Panthers Daily. And as always, go Cats.